Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer and we are playing Hearts of Iron 4, playing as Japan against the United States. So in between episodes I advanced time a little bit because not too much was happening, but right about now we are landing here in the Falkland Islands, so that I think is very promising and a little bit exciting. We do know about a couple of British destroyers in the area down here in the South Georgia Sea. We also have stationed some of our navy in the Cape Verdean plain so that they can intercept any convoys going to this shrinking enclave of allied troops down here in... what's this place called? So, Leopardville. And on the other hand in the Caribbean, because we know about quite a couple of allied troops that are sitting about over here. Just before these episodes I think also Peru could actually offer... No, sorry. I'm mistaken here. Anyway, I think they are very close to being offered peace. In between episodes there was quite a bit of fighting down here, but it was mostly attritional in nature, so there was no big battle as such. We can have a look at the navy up over here. And you can see that over the last couple of months we did sink quite a couple of convoys, but not much else was happening. We did lose a submarine, we did manage to sink a couple of destroyers from Mexico and the UK and a couple of light cruisers. But other than that, not too much is happening, and I am beginning to suspect that most of the Allied forces are probably holed up down here in the Balearic Islands in the Mediterranean from where they can't escape. So, in other news, we are also training up a lot of units. You can see we are training up about 24 or so units. We are mostly lacking artillery guns and some anti-tank guns, which are an integral part of our army, so yeah, we are looking forward to that. Let's deaccelerate time slightly. Let's take care of these insufficient... Really? You want to tell me that I have absolutely no convoys whatsoever? Are you quite sure about that, dear game? What's going on here? This is awkward. Anyway, we can invite Peru to our faction. They will accept, so that's nice to see. We are landing down here, and now we have captured the Falkland Islands, so that's a nice moment to take a look at the construction key over here. Build up a radar station because I do like my radar stations. And potentially a little bit of an airbase. I think that should be fine. The airbase does have priority. However, also the radar installation I think is more important than these things. So that is fine then. How about the naval base? It's not much of a naval base, but it's fine. We are of course very much preparing for the naval strikes up here, potentially against the US West Coast. We mostly have 4 Marines attacking all of these ports, so Los Angeles, the port down here, and San Francisco itself. And we do have a couple of units attacking the in-between places and Tijuana, especially because it does include quite a bit of victory points. And victory points are important because that does allow us to gain some support, some equipment, some reinforcements. So let's see whether we can do another naval invasion from this port towards Sacramento, or at least the general vicinity over here. And I think that should be okay. So these guys will be evacuating from the Falklands now, and that should be alright. And I do think that probably we can take off one of the guard units that are a little bit closer to our place. So you, for example, maybe you shouldn't be guarding this place after all. Maybe you should be guarding the Falklands itself. There we go. That's fine, you'll be traveling over there. The resource stuff has gone away, so that is nice to see. I think we should, on the trade screen now, see that everything has sorted itself out, so that's good. We've also justified war against Nepal. We finished off taking on Tibet. Wasn't much of a deal really, but yeah, I think it's simply nice to conquer this and just finish off this area up there. That does include quite a couple of convoys, quite a couple of factories, and that I do think is important. So this is you. Can you please go ahead and start with this attack? Yes, thank you. Nepal is joining the Allies. They shouldn't last long anyway. Good, that does allow us to justify war though. And just last time I was talking about how unrealistic I do find it that the United States do not immediately jump on this attack pass down here. So let's in fact justify a war goal over here to conquer Costa Rica. Should be going fairly quickly. Within 10 days we should be doing this. And we are bringing in some reinforcements here from the Brown Army. Indeed, some of these guys have arrived already, so that's pretty good to see. Excuse me. Sinking some convoys here, that's always nice. Insufficient resources, always not so nice. But on the other hand, it's just a little bit of steel, so I think we'll survive that. Let's look at the war up here. And we are being attacked over here by some guys who are just doing a little bit of a spoiling attack on us. But we will be taking Kathmandu soon enough. So I think we'll be fine over there. You are losing indeed, so that's good as well. Very nice, very nice. Insufficient resources, just still. Peru has joined as our ally, so that's good. They weren't in the war before, they are now, and that's nice to see. It's not the most critical aspect, to be honest, of the war, but still I do believe that it's nice to have a couple of allies there. Good. We are bringing more forces here, so that's good. We are being provided some artillery, and I certainly appreciate that. We have sunk some convoys. We do know about a couple of Japanese units up there. Sorry, American units, obviously. These guys are being pushed in. We do have some free military factories. Let's look at our logistics. We're still losing a little bit or lacking a little bit of artillery. And of course we want to expand our force by quite a bit because we still have more than 1 million guys over here. So let's put more factories on artillery and indeed buy more steel from these greedy Germans, because we will simply need to do so. Good. Nepal has capitulated. Do you give us a little bit of artillery? Yes, a little bit. And some improved anti-tank guns, so that is nice. A really good force. You guys should probably all be reallocating over here. And indeed you are. Even though that's not the most important thing. Good. We are training up quite a couple of our units as well. That does waste some material. But it does allow us to basically get better units into the first army over here, and I would like the first army to be fully super equipped, very experienced guys. On the strategic air map mode, we can see that apparently there are quite a couple of enemy fighters over here now, and we have lost in the last days 6 fighters, whereas the enemy has lost 1. That I do not appreciate, so let's take these fighters over here. You should be training actually, but you aren't doing that, so let's actually disengage these fighters towards over here. And then what we can do is take these excellent fighters over here with the Ace Kantaro Bia Itakai and the experience level veterans. You'll be flying over towards South America. And then we'll ask you to intercept and actually do air superiority missions over this vicinity, and I think that should be good. In the meantime, we should be able to take the Brown Army, which is the 3rd Allied Manchurian Army, ask it to form a front line, and indeed an offensive line towards San Jose, and after that towards the border with whatever's up there. You'll be reallocating now. Can you stop for a second there? Yes, that's much better. Let's wait a second over here until these guys have gathered some organization. Doesn't need to be much. This is Costa Rica after all, so let's declare war. Yes, indeed. Go ahead. Conquer. Yes, they are joining the Allies. That doesn't matter much. We will be going for justification on Nicaragua next. That should also be another 10 days. And we'll just go up there. We can invite a fraction. Okay, El Salvador. Yes, please do. Do join our side, because why not? El Salvador. You're up over here. You'll be joining the war soon enough. And that's going to be extremely interesting. in the meantime, on the research side, we are mostly researching our or support for our ground units, which I think is very appropriate. You can actually start your attack path over there, and you'll just be overrunning them, and that's fine as well. You'll be joining the war. You have actually quite a lot of units, I have to admit. It's pretty impressive. El Salvador should give up soon enough. Some more British destroyers over here. So what we might actually want to do then is take a look at our guys over here. So, pardon me. In particular, the first heavy scout force. I think it might be time to split it off from the Dai One to Kai, and we might actually want to put it in the torpedo fleet and be a little bit more aggressive with these guys. And then you'll not be doing landing support, you'll actually be doing, you can do strike force I believe, and then we will send the first heavy scout force also over here. And I would actually like you to continue to be, let's put you on completely white. Right, so you'll be based over here, you'll be doing some patterns over here, and I think that's going to be alright. Where are you based now? You're based down here now. I don't actually want you to do this. Now you don't have any assigned regions. Let's go to the Cambodian plain. I think that's going to be alright. Good. We do see some warfare up here. Yeah, British destroyers against our submarines. That's not what we do want to see. We want to see our heavy things, including engaging. Right. Some good stuff over here. So we are conquering actually quite a bit of the material that we do need to make further progress. So, guys. Do form a front line. Do form an attack plan. Are we justifying? Yes, we are. Shouldn't take long. I think very soon. Siam has called El Salvador in. Okay, so they are now properly allied. Only Venezuela, I believe, is not properly allied at that very moment, so we'll have to see about that. On the air side, they're bringing many more fighters. Still, so far, only 6 losses. How about the last couple of days? Really? 5 against 7? 3 lost in air battles. They lost 7 in air battles. Well, that's a pretty good ratio, but still, somehow, I don't believe that's what we want to do. This airfield is totally overcrowded, so we'll have to watch out for that. Good battle over there, sinking quite a couple of convoys. That's good. We have spotted an enemy naval fleet of some destroyers, and they've been sunk. Who sunk you? The torpedo cruisers. The torpedo cruisers are doing quite good against submarines, so that I do appreciate. You are set on high priority, so you should really be watching that. It's really minimal damage on the first ship. The second ship I think we can send out to be repaired. All of you guys are still fine. You might actually deserve a little bit more in terms of training. So you know what? We'll send you over here. And then afterwards we can split you off and be part of the first heavy scout force. Justification for declaration of war on Nicaragua is finished. So that's nice to see. Come on. Let's go to Nicaragua. Let's declare war. There we go. Yes, we want to conquer that. Yes, they are part of the allies. You just go ahead and go ahead with this attack. Can one of you gentlemen directly attack into here at least? I mean, it's all good to beat their army there, but that was the wrong one. But we really want to take the capital, don't we? More convoys being lost, good to see. We are laying some mines up here also. And on the airfield, yeah, they are having quite some aircraft over here. Anyway, that's good. I mean, it does give us some air experience, and that will ultimately allow us to beef up our army. Now let's keep on looking at these guys. You should be part of the 1st Japanese Army. Anyone else has enough experience now? Doesn't look like it, although everyone seems to be pretty close. So that's nice. Okay, I think Nicaragua is soon going to give up. We can actually go ahead and justify war goal against Honduras. There we go. Good stuff. You guys have a new front line over here. And you just want to go there. And that's pretty cool. Good. So Colombia, I'm a little bit on the fence whether we want to bring them in on our side. I think it might make sense. Do you have any steel? Steel is one of the most important details. No, you're just importing steel. Yeah, and indeed, steel is what we need more of. This is eating up so much of our economy and of our construction speed. I know most of our construction right now is dedicated to the production of radar stations. Well, I think we can actually prioritize these guys over here. Don't need the military factories quite now. Ooh, Venezuela has joined the war, so that's brilliant. That's pretty good for us, actually. So I like to see that, because that means all of these things will probably fall very soon. And that is a significant supply of the world's aluminium. For this very moment, at least. Going down there, that's okay. I think soon you'll be... Ooh. Couple of destroyers, couple of submarines. Some of them have been spotted. Which isn't ideal, but all in all, I think we're going to be alright. By the way, you can be split off for a second here. That's you. And we will ask you to join up. And you're simply training. Very good. Very nice. Good stuff. Japanese Task Force. Task Force 1. Okay, that's a little bit... Torpedo Cruiser Fleet 1. Okay. That's more appropriate, I feel. I do think... Ooh! A convoy up here. Interesting. We do have a couple of anti-submarine warfare missions down here, which we probably don't need in the South Pacific Ocean. So let's try to... Ooh, are you patrolling down there? Really? We could bring you into the Caribbean, but I don't think that's very appropriate for now. So what we might want to do is... Let's bring you back to Japan for a second. Or you know what? We can actually do naval exercises over here in the Sea of Japan. And I think that's going to be okay. We do need a little bit more naval experience to continue to build up some stuff. Who are you? Oh, the first cruiser group. Yeah, don't be over here. We can send you to the Caribbean. That's fine. That's a pretty good fit. Justification done. So there's another war declaration. Honduras has joined the Allies. Good for them, I suppose. And there we go for Guatemala. And you should definitely attack, of course. Again, not really much of a challenge over here. Actually, San Salvador now has the first time, it's the first time that they do have frontline, so certainly interesting to see. We can invite a faction. Who's that? You are the Dominican Republic. Well then, why not? Let's try to snowball out of control a little bit over here. Certainly nice to gain more air bases also over here in the Caribbean. Let's see. So we do have 400 aircraft over here. We can station you over here and still continue to strike in the Caribbean. I think that's going to be a little bit better because that does allow us to support over here. Colombia struggling a little bit against the attacks from Port-au-Prince. Not too much actually. Some good attacks happening from San Salvador over there. Although I don't really like to see that. Because ultimately what I would really like is to gain control of that province myself. Although I suppose they should surrender very quickly now. Let's continue to produce a couple of convoys because every now and then they've system flukes up a little bit over there. Right, it does mean we need, again, more steel. Italy. Ah, yeah, you're delivering aid. Sweden. If you can deliver more, then I'm gonna gladly cancel my deals with the Germans because you are still neutral. We do get more factories, and actually, you know what? I think we can train, or we can actually maybe edit this to actually include a couple of artillery brigades. And I think that would be a good change. Does mean that we'll need a lot more artillery. But most importantly, it does mean that our soft attack is going up. And we do have good piercing on these guys because they do have support anti-tank. So let's make this change. And that should be okay. And then how about you? You're a pretty good mix already. Do we have a couple of motorized equipments kicking around? We do, so you know what? Let's actually train up a couple of these divisions. So what are we missing over here? Motorized equipment. Okay. That's fine. Let's go for at least 12 divisions. And I think that's going to be okay. We don't have any tanks, remember, so this is the only motorized stuff that we are going to get. And you should be getting some of this stuff. Yes, there we go. Honduras has capitulated. Quite a bit of anti-infantry equipment, number 2. Some fuel, not relevant though. And a number of divisions over here. You'll probably be part of a new army entirely. And that's okay. We have the fast army, we do have the first Japanese army. No one of you was kicked down to lower organization, so that's fine. And yeah, we do have a number of good units here now. Yeah, well, really most of you guys are good, so let's actually do it this way. Oh. You should also be part of this, and all of you can join up with the first army. Good stuff. And you should continue your training. Very nice. I'm not entirely sure whether these guys will lose a little bit of their upgrades, but that's going to be alright. More and better anti-tank guns are of course appreciated, and so are good naval results for us. Some British destroyers, or Canadian destroyers I suppose, they haven't been damaged, so that's okay. Our guys up here are doing a fine job. For now. First Japanese army, you still okay? Yeah, all of you still seem to be okay, so that's good. Suppose we can accelerate time a little bit. Naval combat up over here. Will we be getting reinforcements? We will. They are trying to withdraw, but we are shooting them up pretty nastily. Losing a couple of destroyers over there, 4 destroyers. That's certainly a very good result for us. Right, you guys, part of this army, please. You're all still very much trained up. So that's good to see. There's the justification of against Japan. Sorry, of course not against Japan. We are Japan. But yeah, there we go. Ooh, more unassigned divisions. Motorized divisions, nonetheless. You are part of the fast army, please. Where are you actually? Oh, over here. Yeah, you are part of the fast army. All of you. Good stuff. Ooh, you guys up here are actually not supposed to be in this group, I think. So let's send you over towards the 5th Army so that you can receive some training. Doesn't need much, just a day pretty much of training. So that's okay. There we go. And now you might just... Well, we can't send you over here now, can we? Okay, let's do so anyway. And then let's form an army of... Can I select all of you guys? It's right click to pan? No. Double click. Okay. Half of you, part of a new army. Half of you, part of a new army. No. Didn't quite register that, sorry. Okay, so you are anti-tank guns. So let's take the non-anti-tank guns. Half of you, part of this over here. Great. You're part of this army. and you'll be getting a general, of course. Let's politically connected. Cautious. Cautious is not necessarily what I want. Infantry officer is much better, but you're not really good at attacking. Still, you'll be fine. Good. Okay, fine. Good. Sinking some convoys over here. So yeah, the next step is of course the attack on Guatemala. Once we have attacked Guatemala though, we will be in war against Mexico. We will have a common front line against Mexico. We are of course in war already, but that is going to complicate things tremendously. And ideally I wouldn't like to attack from San Salvador itself, so let's actually shorten the front line like such and ask our guys to conduct a first offensive line against Guatemala and these areas. Yes, including Britain actually, but let's ignore that for a second. And then the second offensive line will be over here, which it won't take for now. But before we do that, I think it's time to prepare a couple of things. So we'll need to make sure that all of our Marines. Why do you have such low organization? Probably just got there here. Right. So yeah, we will be needing to make sure that this area is patrolled. And that we can conduct our landing pretty much as Mexico enters the war. We will be sending the first army over the sea and into battle directly, and more or less get the fast army to do the same for us. And I think that's going to be a great success then. You guys actually can be part of this army as well. Good, yeah. And that should allow us to push up there pretty aggressively actually. We do have 1.5 million guys, so in between episodes I will also go ahead and organize a little bit more in terms of our army. I think probably just single normal new units will be fine, although we are certainly lacking artillery, and we should continue to build up our artillery stocks. So we are producing 60 a day, so let's devote 70 factories to that, and soon I think, well not that soon, but at some point we'll be getting the streamlined line, and that will allow us to produce a little bit more aggressively. That being said, next time will be the time when we do get a common front line with the heartline of the United States, and I think soon at that point we'll be seeing a very strong attack pattern. Down here we are seeing not that many convoys as we've been seeing before, so maybe it's time to shift our offensive line from over here and maybe also towards maybe this region over here, so that they can't bring in any reinforcements towards Mexico or the east coast of the United States, especially from the United Kingdom. So I think that would be a good decision. And at some point we'll also need to be dealing with some of the Asian stuff. But for now, I think this is a good place to put in a cut, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.